Hey, what's up everybody? How you guys doing today? I hope everybody's awesome. Thank you for coming out to my crazy live stream. All right, let me get my let me get this thing ready to rock and roll. We are almost there. All right. How's everyone doing today? We're going to do our question and answer live stream. So, if you got some game questions, we're going to try and answer them. We will do our best to answer all your crazy questions. All right, let's get this off of here. So let's go back to this. All righty. It seems like something is missing from my screen. 1 second. That's very boring to look at. Let me fix something really quick. Image. Properties. Yeah, it's moved. Something moved. I gotta find the folder I put this in. Photos and videos. Bam, there we go. That's a little more pleasant to look at, I think. Alright, perfect. What's up, Mania? How you doing today? Abraka, good to see you. Ab, what's up? Viet, hello. Walter, how's your day going? We got Zach in the house. What's up, Zach? Alright. I'll tell you what, I've been playing the Heimdall a lot lately. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really digging the Heimdall. It's a very fun Titan. It's definitely not the best Titan, but I'll tell you what, it's crazy fun. I think tomorrow's video is probably going to be a Heimdall video. What's up, Grady White? How you doing today? We got Grady White in the house. What's up, my man? How's your day going? I hope you are awesome. All right. I'll tell you what, I don't know about you guys, but I think this hat looks funny on camera. Unless you see it at the right angle. Like straight on, it looks like a helmet hat. I like this hat though. From the side, it looks like a normal hat, but anyways. Madeline says, hey man, sup? Did you just said that our questions are crazy? Maybe. Some questions are crazy. There are definitely some crazy questions. There's some good ones. There's some crazy ones. There's some super crazy ones. There's some ultra crazy ones. All kinds of different questions. Oh man. Lots of different questions. David B, hello. All right. So what's your guys' favorite Titans so far? What Titan do you guys like playing the best? Arnav, how's your day going? I'm interested to know what you guys actually like. So what are your favorite Titans in the entire world? If you could only play one of the Titans in the game, which one would you choose? I'm trying to think about it. Which one do I have the most fun with? I would probably say... You know, I don't play it very much, but Luchador is super fun and Heimdall is super fun. I think all the Titans, those are the two I enjoy playing the most. But if I had to choose between the two, I think I would have a really hard time doing it, to tell you the truth. Alright, Zach likes the Bjorn. You know, Bjorn is really cool. It's a really fun Titan. I mean, some people don't seem to like the Bjorn. I've never really understood that. I think the Bjorn's an amazing Titan. One of the coolest things, if you stand there and you don't do anything for a minute, the Bjorn will start, like, I don't know, it does this little animation. I don't think any other Titan in the game has an animation like that. So that's unique and pretty cool. Ab likes the Ultimate Minos. I'll tell you what, the Ultimate Minos is definitely a good choice. Out of all the Ultimate Titans, that's probably my favorite Ultimate. There's not very many of them, of course, but it's the most fun to play. I mean, Ultimate Arthur is pretty amazing, but it's not as fun to play as the Ultimate Minos. What's up, War Robot? How you doing today? Awesome to see ya. How much to fully upgrade a Titan? Alright, so it's right around 10,000 of the resource, right? It takes right about 10,000 of the, my gosh, is it platinum? I'm gonna tell you what, my memory just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. I think it's 10,000 platinum. Now, it might be like a little more. It might be like 10,300 or 10,400, but it's right in that ballpark. Alright, Grady likes the ultimate Bulgasari. I don't like that thing, to tell you the truth. I don't like the ultimate Hiachi or the ultimate Bulgasari Titan at all, or the robot. I don't like the regular ones. Never liked those. I just hate playing those things. I just can't do anything with them personally. How much to upgrade a tier 4 robot to Mark 12? Okay, so it's like 300 million. Alright, about 300 million silver. It's very expensive. It takes a long time, right? 300 million silver for a robot. Weapons are a little bit cheaper, but it's very expensive. Grady says you gotta try it again. But, I mean, here's the deal, though. If I don't upgrade anything in a season and I play the game as much as possible, let's just say I spend 2 to 3 hours a day playing this game, and I purchase the operations pass that gives you the resources, I can make almost 1 billion resources in roughly a month and a half to 2 months. So if you grind your butt off and buy the operations pass, that's like 10 or 12 bucks or whatever it is. I don't remember the price on it. It might be 15 bucks, but that will get you a pretty nice amount of resources, but it still takes quite a while. But you got to have the time to spend on the game to grind for your resources if you're not spending a lot of real money. If you're a cheap to play player and you got an hour or 2 or 3 hours a day to play War Robots, then bam, you can earn a pretty nice chunk of change just by playing. Alright. Arnav wants to know, did they remove the death mark and the stealth units? You know what? Hold on a second. Let me look really quick. Hold on just a second. Let me pull up the game. I forgot to open the game. 1 second, guys. Let me see if those are still there. What did I just hit? I hit the wrong thing. Let me open the game. I'll be right back. You know, those aren't something I ever use. And I've never really, I never really paid attention to them. And I haven't heard anybody mention that before, so. As far as I know, they didn't remove those, but it's a good possibility. It's definitely a good possibility. I'm not one of those people that really notices things unless I'm looking for it. And when it comes to modules, to tell you the truth, I put the advanced repair on pretty much everything. That's kind of what I do. Alright, so we're going to get this up here. And the game is not showing up for some reason. Properties, battle rec account. There we go. So let me load in. We're going to go through the modules and take a look at them. No, the stream's not almost over, my man. What's up, Lex Luthor? How are you today? We got Daniel Sykes in the house. What's up, Daniel Sykes? Good to see ya. Grady White says, you know what? Every time I play it, they kill me. The shield does not protect me, Grady. I don't know why. I cannot get that shield to do anything for me, which I don't understand. I've never been able to get the shield to work on the original one. I can't get the shield to work on the ultimate one. Somehow mine seem to be defective. Or it could be user error, but I can't get that shield to do a damn thing. It's like there's not even a shield on it. People shoot it and it falls over dead. I'm like, what the heck? I hate that thing. Alright, hold on. That's enough freaking ads. Alright, let's go look through these thingy-dingies. And see what is here and what's not. Alright, so we got repair unit, we got unstable quantum radar, death mark. Yeah, death mark is still available. Phase shift, shield breaker, jump unit, and lockdown. Now the one I don't see is actually available on some robots, but it's in the specialization thingies. The one that makes you go into stealth. I forget what that was called, but there are a couple of robots. If you choose its specialization tree, that is available, but I think it only activates once per game. In my opinion, that's pretty much worthless. But Death Mark is still available. So they did not remove Death Mark, okay? Grady White says, I'll post my setup in Discord. Sounds good. Thank you, Grady. Sharks, hello, hello. Good to see ya. Yeah, the cloaking unit. That's it. Sharks, thank you. Cloaking unit is available on some robots, but only in that specialization tree is where I saw it. I don't remember which specialization has that available, but one of them does. It's not the brawler, I don't think. Nope. I'd have to go through all these robots to find it. That one's a brawler. This one's a damage dealer. Okay, it's not damage dealer. Let's see if we can find it really quickly. I think the Loki might have had that. Maybe. Maybe. I think the Loki has it. He's what, a saboteur? Yeah, look. Saboteur is the skill that gives you the cloaking unit. Now, in my opinion, that's pretty worthless. I mean, it's better than nothing. I mean, it does something, but I personally don't really care for it. I don't care for that thing at all. But the accelerator, that's pretty sweet. Now, there might be another one that has this as well, but I'm just not into it, honestly. Not into that thingy-dingy right there. Alright, so Ricky, what's going on, my man? Ricky says the cloaking unit is worthless. Yeah, it pretty much is, in my opinion. Now, the thing is, there may be some people out there that like it, but I can't get into it. Have I tried the Fury? Probably like 10 years ago, yes. I think the last time I played the Fury was about 10 years ago. And it was a great robot in the lower leagues back in the day. Alright, so the new pilot is OP. You know what? Let's go see what the new pilot does exactly. Let's go take a look at the new Fury pilot. Hold on a second. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing here. I'm having a brain fart. I'm having a brain fart. I know we got a Fury over here. The problem with this robot, it's big, it's slow, and Fury's shots ignore enemies' energy shields. So that's nice and all, but this thing is still crazy slow, right? I think it's going to be very underpowered once you move up to the higher leagues. Now, if you're in the lower leagues, this might come in really handy. But, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll level this thing up and do a video with it for the heck of it. See how it does do in Champion League. But I can't imagine it doing well in the higher leagues. A panda paint job. I like that one, actually. That's a cool paint job. I like that one as well. But I think that's my favorite right there. I'll put it on there. That's pretty good. Jumping Fury. You know, that would be kind of fun to make a Fury that jumps. These days, though, the robots are really fast. They move around all over the place, and they've got loads of firepower. Now, Fury does have 3 heavies, so that's nice firepower. It might be fun to put some prismas on there or something and play it from a distance. That might be pretty good, to tell you the truth, if you think about it. Alright, how does the Teth force field work? Is it the same as Link's? Sort of. I mean, it's very close to the Link. So, this is the way I understand the Teth force field, right? Once you take so much damage, your force field goes down. And then once you get back to cover, after a while, like after you're in cover so long, your shields repair themselves. So, I think he's got a physical shield and a defense system, and I think they both repair each other. It's kind of a crazy deal, but once you notice you're taking more damage than normal, if you can get back behind cover and just hang out back there for a while, that's going to allow your shield to level back up. So Teth is pretty brutal if you play it well. Bacards, how's it going? Bacaros. I think I've been saying your name wrong, actually, but good to see ya. Daniel Sykes has never played it. I'm guessing you're talking about Fury. Mike the Knife, good afternoon. How are you today? But I would say, yeah, Lynx, Fury, and Leech all kind of have a similar defense system. I think they're all a little bit different, but they all kind of do the same thing. I mean, like the Leech, you have to use the ability to activate it. The other two, it's always activated. But yeah, it repairs itself on the other 2 robots there. Brett, how's it going? Awesome to see you. Ricky Jacobs says Lynx. What about the Lynx, my man? Lynx is actually a really fun little robot. I really like the Lynx. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's super fun. Alright, weird. There's something wrong with my YouTube chat. It's not loading properly. Alright, there it goes. Now it's working. Weird, I don't know. That doesn't normally happen, but the chat seems to be running way behind for me. What's up, Demolisher? How you doing today? Alright. Yeah, I'm on live chat. YouTube, you're weird sometimes, man. Vlabhab, what's up? He says, Teth before nerf, teleport and attack. Tech after nerf, teleport to maintain a safe distance. Yeah, I'm sure once they nerf the Teth, it's definitely not going to survive as long. I mean, really, the Teth doesn't have a lot going for it other than it can teleport, and it's really hard to kill. Alright. Grady sent me the secret sauce. Alright, man. We got the secret sauce. Alright. Arhox, how's it going? How's your day going, my man? Hope you're doing good today. Mike the Knife says, what happened to D-Gems? I can't figure out where to spend them. Alright, hold on 1 second. So if you go to the store, I'll show you how you spend your D-Gems. So if we go over to Worlbots and you click on the little thing on the bottom right hand corner that says store, pull that up, and pretty much everything in here is for sale. For example, this item is 300 D-Gems. This item is 10,000 D-Gems. This item is 900 D-Gems. So you can buy it with real money, or you can pay D-Gems with it. Right? You can do either way, but this is the only place in the game that you can spend D-Gems that I know of. But you know, you can buy robots with it. There's all kinds of things for sale in here if you check it daily, but I would really wait till there's something that's really worth your time in here. I mean, some of these deals look pretty good, but not always. I mean, the links for 700 D-gems or $7, that's a good deal. How much does it cost to buy 700 D-gems? I wonder if it's $7. Is it $1 per 100 D-gems? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, some of these deals are actually quite good. Some of them are quite bad. It just depends on what's on your store for the day. Modules, $2.99 for some modules. But generally, I wait till I see killer deals in here before I buy stuff. Like, I buy the really cheap stuff. When I see something, like, when I see a nice large amount of resources for like $2.99, that's when I'm like, hey, I'm going to get that. But usually I don't buy stuff unless it's really cheap because I'm cheap. And, you know, you can't live above your budget. I mean, you could, but it's not a good idea. Should you go for the ultimate sword and weapons or the Teth? Alright, so my guess is the sword, the ultimate sword's probably going to be better for a longer period of time than the Teth. Now they do nerf ultimate stuff from time to time, but not as often. I mean, I would say the Teth is more likely to get a huge nerf over top of the ultimate sword unit. Right now, though, Teth is the better robot in my opinion. I think the Teth is better than the ultimate sword. I think they're both really good, but the Teth is probably going to get a big rebalance in about 5 or 6 months. And if they do rebalance the sword, the ultimate sword, I don't know. They may not touch it. They may leave it the way it is, or they could possibly tone it down, but nothing is safe in this game from a rebalance. That's the only thing. All we can do is really speculate or take guesses of what's going to happen to what. So hopefully that answer helps you decide what to do. I mean, all I can do is really guess. They might nerf the Teth, and it might be a very small nerf. It might be great for the next year or two. Or in 6 months, they could drive it into the ground. We just really don't know. Grady White says, careful, you touch it, you bought it, it doesn't ask you. You know, I think I accidentally spent my D-gems the other day. And I was like, hey, what just happened? Then I realized, oh, I bought something with D-gems. That was okay. That was on the account that Pixonic owns, so it wasn't my own D-gems anyways. Oh, man. Oh, wait, Brett. Wait. What's Brett talking about? Let's go take a look. The shipyard has D-gems? Oh, weird. Normally that's upgrade tokens. Huh. Now, I've seen it do this once before, and the next day it went back to upgrade tokens. I actually thought that was a glitch, but maybe they change it back and forth now. I don't really look at this very often, but I don't think they ever announced anywhere, unless I missed it. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you spend upgrade tokens, sometimes you spend your D-gems. That's interesting. I must not have enough because it's not letting me open any there, but alright, so there's another place you can spend your D-gems, but I don't think it's like that all the time. Anonymous has the Shenlu damage pilot. Is it good? Yeah, I mean, most of the legendary pilots are good. I mean, sometimes there will be multiple pilots for a robot. One will be better than the other, and a lot of times maybe Person A likes this pilot, but Person A might like the other pilot. So I think it does boil down to personal preference, but yeah, I think that's a good pilot if you're running a Shenlao. Grady says save a dash or a phase shift when the sword comes at you. Yeah, that thing is a pain in the buttocks to deal with. But yeah, if you can dash, run, or jump or fly away from the sword, that's how you escape it. Only thing with the ultimate sword, it's so darn fast, it's hard to get away from it. Ravindra says, still no answer for support, however, I'm not going to leave. Here's the deal with support. It takes them quite a while to get back to you, I've noticed. You gotta kinda watch every day to see if they've written you back. And if they do, make sure you reply right away, because if they write you back and you wait like 24 or 48 hours, they close your ticket. So keep double checking to see what's going on there, because they are a little bit slow. Sometimes it takes them 2 or 3 days. Sometimes I don't know. Support's a little slow, unfortunately. Mike the Knife says, I'm talking about the gems they give you when you buy something. Mike the Knife, I'm not sure what you're referring to, my man. Gems they give you when you buy something. Yeah, I have no idea what you're referring to, actually. D-gems are what you buy in the Worldbots web shop. Maybe you're talking about the upgrade tokens. They look like little Doritos. The things that look like little Doritos, I bet that's what you're talking about. Those are for upgrading your robots to like Mark II and Mark III and stuff like that. Those are needed for upgrading certain things to high levels. But yeah, if it looks like a little yellow Dorito, then those are upgrade tokens. What emulator do I use? Alright. Please don't spam something over and over, or the moderators will get mad at you. But I use LD Player. It works pretty good. I'm actually hoping they eventually make so we can log in on our... I really want to just log in on Steam and play my account on Steam. So one of these days that's supposed to happen, where we can do cross-platform. When that happens, I will no longer need an emulator, and that will be much better. ACDC, what's going on, my man? Ravindra says it changes from D-Gems to Doritos. Yeah, it does, actually. I don't know when they started doing that, but that's kind of cool. That way, if you got one or the other, I guess you can go in there and, get your mothership stuff. ACD says, nah, they're going to do it for real money. It's been long for D-Gems on those. Aaron says, hello, guys. Hello, Aaron. How are you today? I'm doing pretty good. Oh, wow, the YouTube chat just jumped again. I don't know why it's being so weird today, but... Arav says their support system is great. You think so? Every time I've ever contacted support, I've had a hard time ever actually getting a hold of them. So if you've had good luck with support, that's awesome. Oh, the point system for D-Gems. Daniel Sykes, you might be right. If you're talking about the point system for D-Gems, there's little rewards you can get in the web shop. After you buy so many D-Gems, there should be a little thing you can click on in there. There's like different tabs in there. There's one you can click on, and it'll give you the D-Gem points. I would have to log on to the web shop, and I don't have that up or anything right now, but all right, is Nemesis best or Hades? Here's the deal, right? Shield robots still suffer from people hitting the shield breaker modules and killing them through the shield. So in my opinion, between Nemesis and Hades, Nemesis has one major issue. It's lower on firepower, right? Its ability doesn't do as much damage as I would like, and it's only got 2 medium weapons. But if you can get the pilot for it, the ability will pop up over and over and over and over and over again. And it's a really fun robot to play, and it's pretty good, but I feel like you don't get enough damage out of the Nemesis. I feel like it just doesn't have enough firepower in total. But I really do like playing it. Now, when it comes to Nemesis versus Hades, Hades has got a heavy weapon, 2 lights, and its ability does nice damage. I mean, honestly, I think Hades is the better robot for a lot of different reasons, but I do think Nemesis is probably more fun. Nemesis is a lot more fun to play, but Hades is probably better. Now, which one survives the longer? Well, it just depends on whether or not you get hit with a shield breaker. I do think Nemesis is a little more durable overall, but it's not really an ideal robot for many reasons. It's more fun, but it's not as good in my opinion. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it just lacks firepower. Ravindra says, I think it was around the time when Kumaho was released. What about Kumaho? Kumaho is an old guy. I used to love that thing. How did I get so much gold? Alright, so I have 2 accounts. One belongs to the game, right? One of my accounts, the game gives me to play. That way when I do videos, I can make videos on, any robot or weapon setup. So if you're seeing their account, it's loaded down with everything. That's a content recording account. They call it the battle recording accounts. So there's only a couple of us that have those, and they're really just there for us to be able to make videos about anything we want with. Now on my personal account, I probably got a little over 100,000 gold, and I mean, I barely ever spend my gold anymore, so over the last year or so, I've saved that up. But it takes a while to save all the gold up. But I mean, nobody's ever going to have as much gold as the Battlerik account unless you spend a huge amount of money. Huge amount. Anonymous, no, I don't play on Steam, but eventually I'm going to be able to log into my account on any of the platforms and play. So you'll be able to, once they get that done, you'll be able to take your Android account and play it on Steam or My Games or even iOS. I think that's going to be really nice if they get that working. David, how's it going? He says it will have a event tab in the shop. If anything extra for DGEM's purchases. Yeah, there's a tab you click on somewhere on the web shop to find where you spend those. But there's a couple little things you can choose. Once you get so many D points saved up, you can buy I don't know, a couple of power cells or this thing or that thing. There's not a lot of selection in there last time I looked. But there was a tab, so good call on that. But I'll tell you what, Kumo was awesome. Brett's got to go to work. All right, my man, have a wonderful day. I'll catch you later. Thank you for stopping by. All right, I don't ever remember this game having a vertical crosshair up and down. I think it's always been just horizontal. Now, I started this game it was out for almost exactly a year. So my understanding is this game came out on iOS, and it was on iOS for a year before it went on to Android. That's my understanding. So pretty much as soon as this game came out on Android, I downloaded it and started playing it. So I've never seen vertical crosshairs. I've only seen crosshairs that go to the left and to the right. So if that was a thing, it must not have lasted very long. But yeah, I don't remember that. Sometimes it would actually be nice if it was like that and we could actually aim for real instead of, relying on the targeting system. Maybe they should make it so we can choose to have their targeting system or have a free crosshair. That would be pretty nice. That's something I might actually try to suggest to them, because if we could unlock the cursor and just aim like you do on a regular shooter game, that would be sweet. That would be really sweet. Billy Butcher, what's up, man? What about singing? I suck at singing for the most part. I can sing a little bit, but ever since the autoimmune disease got bad, it kills my throat. So I don't really sing or play my guitar very much anymore or anything, thanks to that crap sandwich. What do I think about the Samjock being able to stay in phase shift as long as it does? It's kind of a pain in the butt, but my thing is, it's fine that it stays in the phase shift as long as it does. That doesn't bother me. What used to bother me was how quickly it could go back into phase shift. Now they've fixed that, so it's a lot easier to kill that thing. You just have to catch it when it comes out of the phase shift, and now you can get it. So personally, I don't think that's really a problem. Now, everybody's different, right? Some people may agree with me, some people may disagree with me, but when I'm playing on the battlefield and I see a Samjock, I don't really complain about the amount of time it's able to spend in the ability, because once it comes out, it can't go back in for a while, and it's actually really squishy. So I think that makes it pretty easy to kill if you can catch it. I mean, it's just like anything else. It takes a little skill to chase down a Samjock and kill it. Yeah, the press account is the account. Yeah, the battle rec accounts are press accounts, basically. For a long time, there was only 7 of us that had them. I think there might be a couple more now, because I think they picked up a couple of other YouTubers. I think they picked up a guy that speaks Japanese. I think they picked up a guy that speaks... I don't know, I think they picked up a couple of people who speak other languages, which is cool. That way, if there's Japanese players, now they got a YouTuber with a press account that speaks Japanese or whatever. So that's great, because not everybody speaks English. For a while there, most of us were speaking English, and I think we had one Spanish speaking guy. And it's actually good that they added a couple more people who speak different languages. All right, so ACDC, you still don't like the Samjock? It is kind of a big old pain in the butt. I get it. Hey, we don't have any background music. I just noticed that. Let me turn on the background sounds. Grady White says unlock vertical is impossible for this game. Grady, why do you say that? He says that's called War Robots Frontiers. Yeah, if you play the PC version of War Robots, if you play Frontiers, that's got a normal aiming system where you actually have to aim yourself. I mean, in this game, you've got a very small amount of aiming, but the targeting system pretty much chooses for you what it decides it wants to shoot at. Alright, so for the Samjock, if you're talking about how fast it can go back into the ability, let's take a quick look at that. I do not have one of those photographic memories, so I always got to look at stuff because my memory sucks. Alright, so the Samjock can go back into the ability... So it can stay in there for 15 seconds. What's the cooldown? Where is the cooldown? I don't think it says anymore. Hold on a second. Man, the cooldown time's not on here. Either I'm blind or they removed the cooldown times. Yeah, I don't know. It's not on there. But you do have 15 seconds worth of stealth. I'm really surprised. Now, they used to give us a lot more information. I remember once they made a post. They asked people, you know, are we giving you enough information? Do you want more? Do you want less? And everybody said less information in the description. And they said, okay, we'll go with that. Everybody wants less information. They took so many things that are important out of the descriptions now. I don't know why they did that. I mean, they reduced the cooldown by a lot. The cooldown used to be like, I would say, a quarter of a second. Now, yeah, it's like 5 or 10 seconds or something. Probably like 5 or 6. Grady White says, War Robots only has 1 hitbox. That's true. Alright, so Ravindra is pretty sure they used to have vertical aiming. I don't know, I've never seen it. We would have to find... There's probably somebody out there who was making game footage from the day this game started, so... You could probably look up some really old videos. I don't know what... I wonder who the first YouTuber for this game was. Who was the first actual YouTuber who started doing videos for this regularly? Yeah, Grady, I don't remember that either. What's up, Altered Beast? How are you doing today? Yeah, I don't ever remember it being a thing in this game. I'm reading through the comments. Dr. Floyd, what's up, buddy? Alright, is it worth building a curry? Well, I've been playing curry lately, and I enjoy it, but I do wish it survived a little longer. It's a cool robot, it's really fun, but it's not anywhere near as good as it used to be. It's definitely playable, but I would say it's probably decent at best. And that might be stretching it. That might be stretching it. It's decent at best is what I'm going to say the curry is right now. I actually need to check my pilot skills and stuff like that. Maybe I can revamp my pilot to make it a little better, because I haven't looked at the pilot skills since I put it back in. I just threw it in there with the way it was and played it, and it's doing okay, but I do need to look to see if I can improve it in some way, because it's not really performing the way I would like. I do enjoy playing it, but it's not something I would really want to have in my hangar 24 hours a day. But there's probably a couple skills I could add on there, maybe, to make it better. I'd have to look through the pilot and see what I can do, but I do have Zoe on there, which makes his ability recharge faster. Alright, Grady says, test the Yang Li pilot on Sword Unit. I don't think it breaks, shield breaks it. It does. I was playing Yang Li on, I was playing Yang Li on the, what was I playing him on? Ultimate? I'm having a brain fart. Yang Li goes to Ultimate, the fire-breathing dragon. My god, I can't think of his name. And I was killing him right through the shield. So it was working, Grady. I did test it. Unless we're talking about a different Yang Li. Oh, Fafnir. That's what I was playing it on. Fafnir. That's not a Yang Li pilot, is it? Never mind. Fafnir has a pilot that breaks shields, but I don't think that's Yang Li. So the Fafnir pilot works. My memory has just gotten so bad, it's horrible. Autoimmune diseases suck, but I was thinking about the Ao Jun, yes, but wasn't the right robot. Let me see if I can find my Fafnir. I don't think that was a Yang Li pilot on Fafnir. I think it's got a different one. Let me double check and make sure. But whatever out on the Fafnir was killing the swords. I mean, Fafnir is a great counter for swords, to tell you the truth. Now, I don't remember if that was on my personal account or if that was on the Batterick account that I was playing that. Alright, that's a different pilot. Yeah, I was playing this guy. I don't know how to say his name. Maybe you guys can figure out how to pronounce that guy's name, but I can't. Oh, man. Yeah, there's a Yang Li for the Harpy and the Siren, but there's another Yang Li pilot for the Flaming Dragon guy. So Yang Li is actually made for different robots. I don't know why they did that, but see, this Yang Li right here is made for the Ao Jun. But this one gives you quantum radar. So, alright, so Ao Jun's pilot gives you allows you to see people in stealth. So I guess he does different things. Yeah, sometimes my brain gets a little confused on things. There's so many robots and so many weapons and so many pilots now. It's kind of hard for me to remember everything without looking through it. What's up, Loki? How you doing today? Pro Nuts, what's going on? Awesome to see ya. Alright, Loki says Samjock was a 3-second cooldown and now it's a 5. It feels a lot longer than 5 when you're playing it. AC/DC. The observation area in the ER. He's chilling. Hopefully everything's going good. Hopefully everything's going awesome in the ER. That would be kind of a rough job to have, I think, if you worked in the ER. It would kind of like be sad to see all kinds of people having problems. I mean, when Johnny Weirdo comes in and you're like, man, I got a pineapple stuck up my buttocks. Then you kind of be like, well, how did that happen? I know you guys probably see some really weird stuff from time to time in the ER. Alright, where am I at on the comments? Alright, Temka, how you doing today? What do I think of the Ravager with the cryo weapons? Alright, so if you're good with the Ravager, the cryos are best at close range in my opinion. The closer you are, the easier it is to hit your target. The problem is, even at like 350 meters, 350 meters with the cryo, if you're trying to shoot a moving target, you still have to lead ahead. And they move kind of slow and they're hard to hit people. So if you're comfortable playing that robot at close distances, I think you'll be just fine. I mean, those robots hit really hard. Really, I mean, those weapons, not robots, those weapons hit really hard. So if you can land the shots, yeah, that'll beat some people up. Grady White wants to know if there is an ultimate pilot for the Aljun. I don't think so. I can double check. But I don't believe they brought out one. I'll find out really fast. Let me look. Let me look. Let me look. Where is the ultimate Aljun? He's hiding around here somewhere. I just saw him a second ago. But if there was, I would probably be running it. Alright, pilots for these specific robots. The only thing that shows up is Yang Li and Manny. So Grady, no, there's not a pilot for him. Yang Li and the Manny is the pilots made for this robot, it says. Hey Gato, what's up my man? How you doing today? Hope you're awesome. What's up Jay? Alright, Temka says, yeah, 3 cryo did like 150k in 2 seconds. They hit really hard. They are very strong. Is the Aljun worth playing in 2025? The Ultimate Aljun is a very decent robot. The regular Aljun is very fun to play, but I don't think most people are going to want to keep that in their hangars. So, for the average person, no. For somebody who wants an old challenging robot that's hard to play, you want to like get your skills up, yes. But for most people, probably not. Arnov says, heaven for free-to-play people is the skirmish mode. Yeah, I mean, skirmish is probably easier for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. What's up, Droid? How you doing today? We got Droid 009 in the house. Hope you're doing good. Assassination mode. One thing I don't like about those skirmish type of modes is the fact that if I go in there with my maxed out hangar, I often find them in there fighting like new players. I'm like, wait a second, this isn't exactly fair. So I don't really ever play that mode because I feel bad. Like right now they got, yeah, Assassins is up there right now. But the problem is they mix everybody. I'll go in there and there's going to be people from like Bronze League and Diamond League. And I'm like, wait a second, why are they matching me up with these guys? It's crazy. But I would say the things like the Assassins and all that, I would consider those to be skirmish modes for the most part. They're a little different than the original skirmish modes, but they're kind of the same thing. Just different. But yeah, the original skirmishes, there was actually a couple of fun maps. Like there was one where you could only use like jumping and flying robots, and the ground was lava. So you had to have a robot that would jump from platform to platform or fly over there because you couldn't navigate the map without jumping or flying. You know, I really wish they would put that up there. And Temka, yeah, that's very old War Robots footage from probably like 4 years ago. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Not sure how many years ago, but that's what it looked like back in the day. But I would say Aljun is definitely not worth playing for your average person unless you have the ultimate version. And even that's not that good. I think the ultimate Aljun is just decent, but it's really fun to play. ACDC says, bro Ames guys, I have seen so much while I was studying. Hats off to India. India seems like a cool place to visit. So India has a lot of good doctors. I think my new doctor is an Indian guy. So the doctor's office I go to, it's like I don't know, it's right down the street. It's not like a normal doctor's office. I think it's ran by the state or something, the government. So they get people in, they come, they stay for a while, they leave, they come. Usually they're pretty good, so I just keep going there because it's down the street. But I think the lady I was just seeing left, so I think now I'm gonna be seeing the Indian doctor. I've seen him once so far, and I think he seemed like he was really, really good actually. Droids from India. I think one thing I notice is the United States and India are my two main demographics, I think you call it, where people who watch my videos, if I go into the YouTube analytics, I think the most of them are from the United States, and I think the second most are from India, at least last time I looked. It's possible that's changed over the years because I haven't paid attention to that. But yeah, people from India and people from the United States are the main people who watch my YouTube channels. Is Ember good in Champion League? Yes and no. Ember is really hard to aim. I think they're great weapons overall, but you don't see very many people run them because you got to lead ahead with those much more than any other weapon. If something's moving really fast and you're trying to hit it, you'll see that flamethrower just bending trying to hit that person. And if something's flying, it's so hard to aim with those flamethrowers. If you're playing at close range and you're right up in somebody's face, they're okay, but I don't personally think they're worth a crap for most things. Hey Mr. D, how's it going? Glad you're liking the videos. What's up, Dip? How are you today? But flamethrowers, in my opinion, they're just too darn hard to hit moving or flying targets with. They're probably the hardest weapons to use or aim in the entire game, to tell you the truth. Arnav, have a great day, buddy. Catch you later. Thank you for stopping by. Alright, you got an Al June with Subduers. Will that be useful? I think Subduers are pretty decent weapons. Now, whether or not you're able to play the Al June well, that's the question, right? If you're able to do well with the Al June, then yes, that would be great. But if you find you keep getting your butt kicked with the Al June, then that would not be useful. It just depends on how good you are with it, but I think if you really learn to play that, you can do pretty well with it. Now, I don't know if you got the ultimate or the regular one, but the ultimate Al June with those weapons, I would say will do great. But if you're playing the regular one, it's going to make you really work extremely hard to do well with it. So it's not going to be easy to play. But I do like the Subduers. I do think they're pretty good right now. What about Mace? Alright, Mace is awesome. Mace is a really good close range weapon. They're easy to aim, they reload quickly, they do nice damage when you're close enough to somebody, so Mace is definitely something everybody should be running. Alright, ACDC, I'm not sure what you're writing there, my friend. I don't know what that means. Ah, Carnage, new subscriber. Thanks for subscribing. I definitely appreciate that. And good to see you on the crazy live stream. Droid says, I used to kill minis. What's minis, man? little miniature robots with calamities, and Deathwing Aljun. Minos, maybe? I'm guessing you're saying Minos. Aljun was one of the best robots in the game for years. Like, that robot probably had the longest lifespan of being meta out of any robot in this game. Alright, Ellen wants to know, is the condo with Sonics still good? Yes. So here's the thing with the Condor. There are some people who just don't want to play it anymore because it's not what it used to be. Condor is a really fun robot. It flies for a long time and it does very well. I wouldn't say it's one of the best robots in the game anymore, but I think it's more than playable. You do got to play it a little more carefully these days because the shields don't heal you up like it used to. It used to be you would break the shield and you would get a bunch of healing and yada yada yada. You don't really get that as much anymore, so it's just kind of like a big flying target up in the air, but the ability is good, the damage is good, it's fun to play. It's an all-around nice robot in my opinion. Oh, Ravena is definitely... I don't think we can call Ravena meta, technically, but it basically is. Ravena is like that close to being as good as the meta, right? I mean, it's not as good as a Teth, right? It's definitely not as good as a Teth. It's definitely not as good as like the Samjock, at least what it was when it first came out, but Ravena's the next best thing to having meta. The only thing is Ravena's hard to play. If you can figure out how to play the Ravena, it's a beast. It is a pure beast. Droid says, I have a Leo and it's hard to take down. What about Tesla weapons? Last time I played them, I wasn't really into them anymore. If I remember, I was always feeling like I was out of ammo with them. I think they've got a long reload time, and the way the mechanics worked with them, I didn't really think the long reload worked very well on them. Let me check, but didn't they change that to like a 12 or a 14 second reload on the Tesla weapons? The only weapons with a long reload that I like are the Scotty's, Hells, and whatever snares, because those shoot for a long time. You can reload half your ammo, press the button, you feel like you still got plenty of ammo. Some weapons, though, they run out of ammo too quickly, and then you let it reload halfway, you push the button, you're like, crap, I'm out of ammo already. Okay, those only have a 10-second reload. That's not horrible. So, yeah, I think those weapons are still going to be fine. I mean, you do got to be really close. They've only got a 100 meter range, so you definitely got to put them on the right robot. So between the range and the long reload, they're hard to play is what it is. The damage felt pretty good still, but... Alright, Gatto said Adrian was testing out weapons to counter the Teth and Flames were the best. Well, maybe if you can actually play the Flames, that's the thing. That's the thing. Can you play the Flames? Most people can't. Adrian might be one of those rare people that are really good at aiming the flamethrowers. Droid says Teth is a double wrapped cake with frosting. Alright. Alright, linked with subduers. Alright, so Dip, I think linked with subduers would be great. Athos on Curry. You know, that might be... I mean, if you got the Athos, give it a try on the Curry. You might like that. I've been playing the Curry with Punchers and Redeemers. I haven't tried the Athos on the current Curry recently, but back in the day... Back before I think they nerfed the Curry down, he was a beast. So yeah, maybe those healing weapons would be a big help on the Curry. That'd be worth it. But yeah, Lynx, I think Lynx would be the best. Out of the things you have right there, I think you're going to have the best with the Subduers on the Lynx. That would be a good build actually. Droid says Shenlao is still good for extermination. Those things are still a little pain in the butt sometimes. Alright, what's the best frozen dragon weapons? Frozen Dagon weapons. What would be the best? Here's the thing, you got six weapons on that thing. Just about anything you throw on there is going to hit very hard. I personally think that the ice noodles, like the Scotty Hell Snare family of weapons, I forget which one's the light. I think the light ones are called snares, if I remember correctly. I was really enjoying those on there. The reload's a little long, but they do a lot of damage, especially when you get 6 of them. I think the arm family of weapons, the arms, man, those are good on there. Those are probably better than the ice noodles. So arms would be killer or ice noodles would be killer. What else would I put on there? Ultimate ions are really good. I mean, there's probably some other ones, but hazards are pretty decent. Cryos are actually really good if you're trying to play it up a little closer. It's harder to play with cryos, but it definitely hits really hard at close range. But those are some of the weapons I would consider playing on it right now. Alright, Carnage, yeah, Minos can survive in Champion League. I mean, you gotta be good with it, though. That's the thing. Minos is quite good. Now, you never know what's going to change in this game, right? They may come out with a Titan that may completely counter the Minos in a lot of ways in the future. But right now, the Minos has been doing quite well for a while. It's very fun to play. It's very playable. But you got to kind of master that guy because you got to know when to use the abilities to run and when to put up the shield. Because when you put up the shield, when people shoot your shield, it damages the other player back. And it damages them a lot. Like I will shoot every robot shield except for a Minos. If I see a Minos shield go up, I am not shooting that. Grady White says Magnetar. Oh yeah, Magnetars are really good. That would be a good Dagon weapon as well. Good call, Grady. But the Minos also, you want to almost use one ability to run in and try to save one for when you need to escape. Because if you run in and all of a sudden things get bad, you can use another ability to get out of there quickly and get away. So I think Minos really depends on proper ability timing. It's hard to play, but if you can figure out how to play it, it does great. What's up, Heaven V? How you doing today? What about Freeze Titans? The Kirin weapons are quite good. They shoot slow now, but they still hit very hard. But you got to be really, 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 really close to somebody for those to work. What's up, Captain Red Skull? Hello, hello. Snares. Yeah, snares would be very good on there, actually. Howlers. Howlers are cool weapons. I like them. They're not as strong as they used to be, I'll tell you that. Sometimes I play those on stuff, and I feel like I'm always a little bit disappointed with those weapons right now. They're good, but they're just not as good, unfortunately. Alright, so your Mirror-Mitts kill the Minos easily. Here's the thing about Mirror-Mitts. It's a squishy turd, but the ability hits extremely hard. But the problem with Myrmids, as soon as you start to land, people often shoot you out of the sky and you're gone. But the ability damage is brutal on a Myrmids. I think Myrmids, if you hit something with the ability, it's going to do a lot of damage to anything. Abraka says, Curry never go, players not run. Abraka, I'm not 100% sure what that means. Yeah, Luchador. Oh, you killed a Luchador with it? Yeah, that ability is brutal. It's just squishy as all. Daniel Sykes says, Mino's Reflector will kill you. Ghost 100% okay. What's up, The Only Way? I'm doing good, buddy. How about yourself? Alright, so Dip says, man, I got a Bjorn, and I just love the mechanics, but I got 2 Avoras on it, and 1 Veron, 1 Moonin, 1 Hugin, and 2 Aragon, 1 Oxy. Should I make all Sonics or Energy and Ice Rockets? Well, all Sonics is definitely a good setup for a lot of reasons. I'm trying to remember if I've ever played the Ice Rockets on there. The thing about the Ice Rockets is they have a long reload, but they actually hit really hard. The thing is, you're going to go in and out of the ball, right? You run out of ammo, you go into the ball, you stay into the ball till your ability's ready, which would give those Ice Rockets some time to reload. Truth is, I think I would probably go with all Sonics just because it's going to be easier to play. It's going to reload much faster. You can use them at 500 meters away. You can use them at point blank. I think the Sonics is probably going to be your best bet for your average situation, honestly. But yeah, the Avoras and the Verons, I still really like those a lot. Now, Moonins and Huggins are really nice as well. Some people, for some reason, aren't liking the Moonins and Huggins, and I'm not really sure why, because I think they're crazy powerful. They're a little bit shorter range, but I think Adrian, if I remember correctly, Adrian said he doesn't like those, which surprised me. And I've talked to quite a few other people who don't like them. It's kind of hard to say, well, it's kind of hard to recommend something when I notice a lot of people don't like it. But personally, I think Bjorn with Huggin and Moonin is awesome. So that would probably be my personal first choice. But if you didn't want to go for that, you know, the Sonic weapons, the Verons and the Avoras are just a good all-arounder. Those work well on any Titan. Now the Hug and the Moonins, those are only going to work good on certain Titans, I think. Depends on how comfortable you are playing that Titan at close range. Alright, so if you want to get an Ox Minos, it will be in the store at some point. You just kind of got to watch the store daily. It's like every day or every other day, you're gonna see the deals in the store change. I think it's like every day around 8 p.m. if I remember correctly. That's when everything resets. At least like 8 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know. It might be different depending on where you live as to what time it changes, but the deals in the store are always different. So you're not going to see that in there today. You might not see it in there tomorrow. You might not see it the day after that. You might see it like a week from now or 2 weeks from now, but you might see it tomorrow, you know what I mean? You just got to check daily to see what's in the store. But it constantly changes. Hawk is literally on retirement drinking tea on the ship map. Yeah, Hawk's not good anymore, unfortunately. That thing's hard to play. That thing's really hard to play. Ugh. What's up, Brandon Eller? He's got all sonic weapons on the Bjorn. One of my most ran weapons on any Titan is actually those sonics. I mean, they're just good all-arounders. Alright, Ellen does not like the Bjorn. He says, I don't think it's very good. Ellen, I'm guessing you probably aren't playing it properly, or maybe it's just not for you. Not every robot or Titan is for everybody. But I've noticed a lot of people don't like the Bjorn, but I think Bjorn is all about knowing when to use the ability and when to switch into the ball. So what I do is when I start taking fire, I pay attention to the shield on the Bjorn, and when the shield is almost gone, I hit the ability on the Bjorn, and that makes me really tanky. And then as soon as I'm out of ammo and I'm able to change into the ball mode, then I change into the ball. Once my weapons are reloaded and my other abilities ready again, I come out of the ball, I start firing, I wait for the shield to go down, and then I hit the ability. And I just constantly do that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's how you make a Bjorn Titan survive. So it's really kind of a pain in the butt having to switch back and forth constantly, but that Titan makes you work to make it durable. Daniel Sykes says, Indra is a great Titan if you know how to play it. That's true. Truth is, there's a lot of great Titans right now, but a lot of them do require a bit of skill. Not every Titan in the game is good. But I'll tell you what, these are the ones I enjoy playing. I really enjoy playing the Luchador. I enjoy playing the Bedware. Even though it's not the best Titan in the world, I still enjoy playing Bedware. I really like the Kraken Indra. I like the Mauler, I like the Bjorn, I like the Minos, I like the Heimdall. I sort of like the Rook. I don't play it very much anymore. I like playing the Nodens, but of course he's outdated and probably shouldn't be on the battlefield, but I still play him sometimes. Sirius is, you know, if he wasn't so big and fat and he did not get stuck on everything, I would probably play the Sirius more, but my god, I get stuck on everything. But those are the main Titans I enjoy playing right there, so. Minos, love it, even though it's not the greatest. Sirius, fun if he wasn't so fat. Bjorn is pretty awesome. Indra awesome, Heimdall awesome, Minos awesome, Bjorn awesome, Mauler awesome, Indra awesome, Bedware pretty good. And of course, you know, if you got one of the Ultimate Titans, Arthur is pretty awesome as well, but only the Ultimate version. Madeline, yeah, Eiffel was awesome, I repeat, was awesome before they nerfed it. Then after they nerfed it, it went down the crapper. Daniel Sykes says, Rook seems to be doing good again. Yeah, you know, I go up against a lot of Rooks that are doing quite well. I've been meaning to put it in my hangar and play it again, but I've just been enjoying my Heimdall. Master Pyro, how's it going today? Alright, Master Pyro says, I got my level 8 robots and level 6 weapons, but I'm getting dusted. What league are you in? I mean, level 6 and level 8 still considered very low level. Once you hit level 12, then you can Mark 2 your robots, and then you can go from Mark 2 level 1 to Mark 2 level 12, so. Alright, you're in Bronze 3. Alright, Bronze League, you should be doing pretty good. I mean, I don't know which robots you're playing. Right, I don't know which robots are in your hangar. If you're still playing a Cossack and a Destrier, yeah, you're going to get beat up. You can build robots in the workshop, right? There's workshop robots. You can, when you earn keys, you can spend them to open the chest to try and get more robots. I mean, you don't have to spend money on this game. You just have to have a lot of patience, right? as a new player, you're going to be getting your butt kicked a lot. For one, you don't really know how to play the game yet. You know, you got to learn the game, learn the robots, figure out which weapons are good, which ones aren't good. So what weapons you're playing makes a big difference as well. Like if you're brand new, I say the Punishers, the Punisher T, and the Thunders, those are the weapons you want to put on everything. They're cheap to upgrade. They come free on a lot of the robots, or if they don't, you can buy them for dirt cheap, and they just work. But you gotta have some skill with your robot. Now, Cossack, right? You're not gonna do well with a Cossack. In Bronze League, that's a great starter robot. I mean, if you look at my baby account, though, I got a baby account in Silver League. I don't play it very often because I just don't really have time to play it, but I made it into Silver League. I think I spent about $30 on that account, and I bought lousy robots that are fun to play. That's my account to where I can play crappy robots in the lower leagues and have fun with them. So I spent $30 to buy, I bought like a hover. I don't even remember what all I have on there, but I think I got like a Leo, a Griffin, a hover. But when I do log on to that account and I play it, it's extremely fun, and I'm playing subpar robots with basic weapons. But that's the thing, like, there's the bare minimum starter robots, then there's like the robots that are a little better. Alright, you got a Leo, you got a Fury, and you got a Loki and a Phantom. I mean, Loki, Phantom, and Leo are all pretty good. I mean, even Fury is good for Bronze League. Did you level up the robot and the weapons? So one thing is, are you going Rambo? Are you running one robot into a group of enemies? Because you do got to learn to use cover, you got to learn how to corner shoot, you got to learn to play tactically. You got to work with your team as well. But if you're just running right into a group of 5 enemies, they will blow you up instantly. So your playing style has a lot to do with how well you do as well. And if you find that you're not doing great, if you're underpowered, you want to stay behind your teammates. You want to play more of a support role. So what you want to do is be like, okay, there's a group of teammates over here fighting to grab this beacon. Let me stand behind those guys and shoot at the enemies that they're trying to deal with and help them get rid of those while I'm standing back and using cover. So if you're feeling like your robots and weapons just aren't powerful enough, you might need to relearn how you're playing them. You might want to learn to play them as support robots, and then once you really get the hang of the game, then start trying to get a little more aggressive and stuff like that. But every robot is very different. Every robot's something you need to play for, sometimes weeks or even months to truly master a robot. But if you do decide to spend money and buy things, you want to make sure you're buying things that are going to be good as you move up in leagues. You don't really want to dump too many resources or real money into the starter stuff if possible, because as you keep playing this game, you're going to move up in the leagues, right? You're going to move up, and eventually you're going to get up into the higher leagues. So if you built stuff that's like just subpar, right? If you built stuff that's subpar, it's not going to work for you. I mean, of course, you got to start off with something. But my advice is find out, I got some guides on what to build in the workshop and stuff like that. So find out what's good. Start building 5 really good robots from the workshop. That's my advice for you, right? Go into the workshop, start building robots. I just made a guide recently that went over the best workshop robots, in my opinion, the best workshop weapons and stuff like that. Build the robots first, because it takes what, I don't know, once you unlock all 6 hangar slots, I'm not really sure how long that's going to take you, but once you unlock all 6, I shouldn't say hangar slots, workshop build slots, you can build a robot in about 3 weeks. So you build your 5 robots and then you start building weapons for them. But this game takes a lot of patience or a small amount of money to get decent stuff. Now, if you want the best of the best, you're gonna have to spend a fortune, right? If you want to get the brand new stuff, the most awesomest stuff, the things that just came out, you want to max it all out, that's gonna cost a lot of money. But cheap to play players and free to play players need to manage their resources and the money they spend properly. Learn what's good. Don't upgrade stuff that's not worth your time. And have a lot of patience, right? It's not one of those games where you're just gonna have this badass hangar built overnight. It's probably going to take your average person, you know, a few to several months to start building up a pretty good hangar. So when you're currently under leveled, sometimes you got to roll with the punches. Sometimes you just got to be like, all right, my stuff's a little underpowered right now. Maybe I need to play it better. Maybe I just need to wait till I upgrade it a little more. You know, there's a lot of variables in the game, so hopefully that advice is somewhat helpful to you. But this is a game that has a big learning curve. I mean, just learning each robot, learning, you know, what to do, when to do it, the different game modes. There's a lot to it. So at first, you're going to be off to a slow start. Abraka says, I don't see this weapons. Abraka, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Ab says, Master, you will get a lot of free weapons and robots. Save up for the good stuff. Yeah, if you get something free, you know, try to ask one of us YouTubers if it's worthwhile before you upgrade it. Because some of the free stuff you get might actually be nice. Some of it might be horrible. I mean, some things you do got to put some resources in, but like your Leo, that's a good robot. You know, I might get your Leo up to like level 8 or level 10. Now, like if you got Punisher and Punisher T's, I would level those things up to at least like level 10. Those will get you through for a while until you start getting better stuff, but basic robots like the Leo, I mean, even the Loki, that's a really good robot for somebody who's new. So if you got a Loki, that's actually awesome. But Loki's more of a robot where you stay in stealth and you run from beacon to beacon. You don't really fight people with a Loki. You can, but you really shouldn't. Loki's designed for just being undetectable and stealing beacons from the enemies. But if you're trying to fight with the Loki gets blown up so fast. Like if somebody has anti-stealth, or if you come out of the stealth, someone's going to kill you really quick on a Loki. Yeah, see, that's the thing, Master. You kind of got to figure out what's good, because some of those deals in there for $8 or $9 are amazing. But that's one of those deals where you gotta really start to learn the game. I mean, watch the YouTubers, watch the YouTube videos, get on places like Discord and Reddit and Facebook where they have groups for these games, and start asking people questions. Like if you go into the store here and you see something and you're like, hey, I don't know if this is good, there's a lot of places where you can go ask people and find out. Like right now, I mean, there's a Heimdall with sonic weapons. Wait a second. 2 Avoras and 2 Vadras? That's a weird combo. I mean, that's a good deal. Eiffel, that thing sucks right now in my opinion. I wouldn't buy an Eiffel. Aether, Now, this is a great deal here. Bahu Luchador for $7 with those weapons. Those weapons aren't that great anymore, but they still work. Luchador, that's an awesome Titan. Fenrir with Versants and the pilots. I love the Fenrir. I like the Shatters and Versants. Don't love the pilot, but still for $8 just to get that robot, it's worth it just for the robot for $8 right there. You got a Scorpion with Sonics and the Ash Pilot for $6. I mean, that's totally worth it right there. That's a little teleporting assassin. So if that thing fits your playstyle, that's a great setup. Those sonic weapons have a really long reload time, so you got to make sure you're really careful with how they work, but that's one robot. I would still play those on that robot. Normally I won't play these sonic weapons on most things, but they work great on the Scorpion still. But that's the thing, you just gotta look what's in here and then go ask people if it's any good. Raven of Shiones, that's a great deal. Crisis, yeah, not my thing anymore. Some people might still like that, but it's just like anything, you know, it takes you a while to learn this stuff. But it takes a long time to learn this stuff, you know. When you start out on a new game, there's hundreds of robots, hundreds of different weapons. It can be a little bit overwhelming, so don't be in too much of a hurry to go spend your money if you're going to spend money, because you want to make sure you're getting something good. But you also want to try and find information from players in the higher leagues, because you want to make sure whatever you're spending your real money on, you want to make sure once you move up in leagues, you're still going to be able to play it and it's not something you're going to outgrow. A lot of lower league players or mid league players still don't really understand that. They're like, well, why are you always saying it needs to be good in Champion League? Because I'm like, well, if you play this game long enough, you're going to be moved up into Champion League, so you're going to need stuff that plays well in Champion. But I try and make a lot of videos for robots and weapons and stuff that are a little bit easier for people to get. Like, I don't really just make stuff about the brand new things. Is Ocho still meta droid? Yes. It's pretty darn close to it, at least. It's about as close as you're going to get to the meta without really being meta, but pretty much, I would say yes. Dip says, man, thanks for giving us the time. Yeah, you're welcome, my man. You are welcome. One of the things I like about doing YouTube, I mean, I got more than one channel, right? I got a couple of different YouTube channels, but I try to make channels that are helpful, that give people information or teach them stuff about the game. I probably don't have, you know, I'm not Prince Charming. I don't have that award-winning personality that everybody just falls in love with, so I just try to be like I try to be helpful. Daniel Sykes says some hackers can do some crazy stuff. Yeah, that's true. Now, there's some YouTubers out there that they could make a video about anything and people would watch it just because they have this like award-winning personality, you know. Some people just have a lot of charisma. They're very I don't know, charming, I guess. I forget where I was going with this, but anyways. I like to try and be at least somewhat helpful. Alright, Brandon had a game where he could not drop his robot. Hopefully that bug's not back. So Brandon, did you try several times? Because back when we were having that bug, I remember sometimes you would have to wait like 1 or 2 minutes and then it would let you drop. Sometimes you had to just wait 30 seconds. Sometimes it was a minute or two. But yeah, I remember the bug where you couldn't drop. That was sucky. What's up, Devil Gamers? 2 punchers and 1 magnetar, good for a Samjock. You know, so here's the deal. I was playing punchers a couple of days ago. Here's the one thing about the punchers. They seem to do really nice damage, but you have to be really, really, really close to your enemy, right? Punchers do have a little bit of a spread, so as you shoot, the bullets spread out. So the further away something is, the less damage it's going to do to them because there will be less bullets hitting the enemy. So a puncher is one of those weapons where if you're like 50 meters or maybe 100 meters or closer, they're going to do really nice damage. At 200 meters, they're probably doing pretty good, but at 500 meters, they're going to be spreading the bullets everywhere and spraying, and the majority of the ammo is going to miss. So as long as you're at really close range, the punchers are great. Now the magnetars in the punchers may seem like they're the same weapons. They may seem like they're a matching set of weapons, but they're not. The Magnetars are kind of like a improved version of the puncher weapons, you know, except for that's the light version. But they don't have that spread. The Magnetars hit their target, so you can be at point blank or 600 meters away, and the amount of damage they're not doing doesn't change. Ah, Master is upgrading the Angler. You know, that's a really cool robot. That is a really cool robot. Especially if you get the cryo weapons for it, man, that is good with the cryos. It's not only good with the cryos, but that's currently my favorite setup for it, I think, right now. Or if you got like 3 Magnetars and maybe a Redeemer or a Puncher up there, that would be good as well. Alright, where was I at on the chat? I've lost my place. Our stream time is about up for the day, actually. Droid says, nah man, you are honest and generous. Well, thank you. Yeah, you know, if somebody's not honest, then what are they? You know what I mean? I try and be honest about everything. I mean, some people get mad because, you know, they don't like the way certain things are in the game, and I don't really ever say anything bad about Pixonic, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff I don't like too, right? There's things they do that I don't like, but me complaining about it isn't gonna, you know, change anything. So I'm one of those people where I try to keep as positive as possible. If I don't like something, you know, I'll say, hey, I don't like this. If Pixonic does something I don't care for, I let them know personally. I can say, hey, you know, I don't like this. I think this sucks, or I think you guys should do this differently. You know, I can tell them personally. I don't need to make a video about it. But, you know, they're going to run things the way they run things. You know, they're just a development company who's owned by a large corporation. And I guarantee you there's some CEO in an office somewhere saying, we need you guys to do this. We need you guys to do this. And I have no contact with that CEO, and he probably doesn't care. That, you know, the upper management, the upper echelon of a business, they're in there punching numbers into a computer trying to figure out what's going to make that company the most money. You know what I'm saying? I have no way of contacting that guy or getting through to that guy, and you know, he's not going to care what I say. So I can talk to some of the community managers and maybe a couple of developers or whatever, but all we can do is voice our opinions, and you know, if they listen to that, they do. If they don't, they don't. And there's, you know, some of the things they've been doing it for the last 10 years. The game's been out. So I don't think certain things are ever going to change no matter how much you complain. But I just try to keep mostly positive on this channel. You know, I try to keep the channel helpful. You know, I try to keep it honest. I just try to keep it realistic and not... I try to stay away from the drama and the negativity here. Should I make Aramis or Athos Raptor? So here's the deal with the Raptor, right? Raptor, I'm going to put the ending screen up because our time is about done. So Raptor is a very fun robot. And I think you want some weapons that work well for close range, but I don't like anything with too close of a range. But I do think the healing weapons are really nice on there. I really do like the healing weapons on the Raptor still. Now, some people don't like the longer reload time that they have, but I think the longer reload is actually pretty good. I mean, not good, but it's workable. I can work with it. So, I mean, that's really going to boil down to personal preference, which one you like. But the Athos weapons, I think those are great. I really like the Athos a lot on the Raptor. I think they're good on tanks. I mean, I can throw them on a Fenrir. I can throw them on pretty much anything with high hit points. And that extra healing really does help you stay alive. So if you got those healing weapons, the healing drone, and you throw those on a tank, I think they're still extremely good. But yeah, in my opinion, I think you'll like that setup with the healing weapons. There's a few people out there that quit playing it. They're just like, well, the 10-second reload's too long. So if that doesn't bother you, I mean, if you think you can deal with, oh, it's a 16, I'm sorry, it's now a 16-second reload. So you have to realize that the full reload takes a really long time, but they are weapons that you can let reload 25 or 50% and fire, and you still have a decent amount of ammo back. But if you want a full reload, you do have to go up to the 16 seconds, and some people do have a problem with these 16 seconds. So do you think that's going to bother you is the question with those weapons? Will that really long reload time be a problem for you? If you say, no, I think I can deal with it, then those are great weapons. But the way the mechanics work on those weapons, I can deal with the longer reload time. It's kind of like the Scotty's, Hills, and Snares. They have a longer reload as well, but the way the mechanics works on the weapons, I can deal with it. Daniel Sykes, thanks, my man. Master says, I will say I like long-range weapons. I'm using the Flux on the Fury now. Alright, I don't know what the deal with the Flux is, but it used to be such a horrible weapon. I played some Flux the other day. They were melting people. They were just melting people, so I think they must have buffed. I think they must have buffed the Flux at some times and didn't tell us, because those were doing quite good. Now, Tempest is not a very good weapon. Zeus is fun to play, but the problem with Zeus is you got a lock on, right? A lot of robots will go in and out of stealth, or this will happen or that will happen, and you lose your lock on. Now, I really do like the Zeus weapons, but I don't think they're ideal for everyday playing. In the lower leagues, sure, probably once you move up, I don't think the Zeus or the Tempest will do well for you, but right now, unless they nerf the Flux or something in the future, Flux actually seems to be doing really well. Devil Games, it's been a year since I've been playing War Robots and following your content. Thanks a lot for making these videos and tips. Oh yeah, you're welcome, my friend. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. I mean, I appreciate all you guys watching the videos. I really do. Hey, K-Fed. Does the Teth work good on the tier? Yeah. Make sure you put 12 Teth robots on your tier. That was pretty funny. Alright, guys and girls. Unfortunately, I got to get off here. I got to work on recording some game footage. I got to do that before... there's someone coming over to the house to get some stuff. They might be here for a little while later. So, I got to do things and get some game footage recorded before he comes over, because I don't know if he's going to be here for an hour or 3 hours. So I got to make sure I get that recorded, so I got footage for you guys to make something tomorrow. So I got to get out of here. Thank you so much for coming out, though. Thank you for watching my videos and my live streams and everything else. I appreciate you guys and gals a lot. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week if I don't see you before. But I'll be back on Thursday for a time drop stream and Saturday for a regular gameplay stream. But unfortunately, I got to get going. But thank you so much. We will catch you next time. Lightning out. Have an amazing rest of your day, and hope to see you guys on the next stream. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I wish I could stream all day long, but unfortunately I can't.